English worked with cultural partner organisations in each region of England to deliver family and community events. In the West Midlands, the Midlands Arts Centre, MAC, hosted Brummagem Fair with crafts, singing, digital animation and dance for all the family. MAC also organised a term of songwriting and instrumental evening classes working on material from the digital archive, culminating in a performance event. In the North West, the Met in Bury hosted a day exploring new arrangements of local songs from the digital archive with Caroline Price and the youth choir Stream of Sound. The Met also hosted a family folk day with storytelling, clog dancing, illustration workshops and the Bury pace egging team. In Yorkshire, Opera North commissioned folk composer Ian Stevenson to arrange a song from the digital archive for their community chorus. They also hosted a folk-themed family day complete with singing, songwriting, music, dancing and storytelling. In the southwest, Colston Hall in Bristol hosted the May Fair, complete with maypole and morris workshops, barn dances, storytelling, concerts and a massed sing of 7 Bristol folk songs and shanties selected from the digital archive.
It's been really interesting working with the Full English on Bristol Sings Music with the singing strategy. So we had the material that we had given to us from the online resource was about 7 folk songs, mainly arranged for primary schools, but there was also an element for community choir as well, hence having Gert Lush Choir come and sing with us this afternoon. And the lovely thing about this resource is it's folk music, it's free, you can use a tune, you can add some harmony, you can do it in a certain way, you can do it in a different way.
I think it's really important that there are regional showcases, particularly for developmental work, like working with young people. It's a really good way of engaging with people who aren't on a day-to-day basis involved with folk music for me. Like today I thought was a very good case in point, lots of people singing who were interested in the songs because they were from Bristol, not because they were folk music, so it had a great sort of sense of locality and really engaged with them.
Many of the cultural partners, with the addition of Clare College, Cambridge and the University of Sheffield, also hosted a Folk Song in England study day, led by folklorist Steve Roud, exploring the development and social impact of English folk song and singers.
After 150 years of studying the stuff, we've still got more questions than we have answers. And it's nice to see some young people in the audience, because there really is a need for sensible, hard work at studying this material. And now's the time to do it. The Full English has made available the manuscripts of, as Rachel said, tens of thousands, 50,000 manuscripts of songs collected in the Edwardian and Victorian times.
I came to see Bellowhead here last year and was amazed by the folk music. Since then I've taken quite a big interest in it. I came to see Faustus at the Gateshead Town Hall a couple of weeks ago. Again, amazing. And so I really got into folk music in quite a big way. And thought it would be interesting, as I'm coming to see the Full English tour next week, to come and get the history behind it, how it all came about and everything like that. One of the highlights of today was the very, very first song he played about the hungry fox. And I actually had that on my children's favourites album when I was 8-year-old. It was marvellous, really brought back some memories.
In the southeast, the Stables at Milton Keynes hosted a Winter Songs Day with Carolyn Robson, with new arrangements of local seasonal material from the digital archive. The Stables also ran a series of fun family folk music workshops designed to get families playing together and discovering folk tunes from the digital archive, and also doing some folk dancing. In the east, the Full English worked with Cambridge City Council, Cambridgeshire Music and the Museum of Cambridge.
The Museum of Cambridge has worked with the Full English Project to run family activities. We have a big celebration here in Cambridge called the Big Weekend, and the Full English Project allowed the museum to tag along and join in with a tent activity down on Parker's Piece, which is a big area of parkland in Cambridge, very traditionally used for celebrations way back, hundreds of years. And we had a fantastic family activity going on with music, with dancing, and we actually ran some rustic sports, so traditional folk sports, and the families really enjoyed it. All of the things in the museum are social history collections and objects, and because they're related to everyday life and people, we need that sense of how everyday life really was. And music and dance and celebration was such an important part of people's lives. We really have enjoyed working with the Full English Project, and it's brought the museum a really lovely sense of engagement that people can enjoy.
In the East Midlands, community music organisation Soundlinks took one Lincolnshire folk melody and brought together 15 diverse composers and over 300 musicians of all styles and ages to perform an hour-long song and music cycle streamed live on the internet. Lincoln Drill Hall and Liam Robinson helped organise a Lincoln Family Folk Day with young folk dancers and musicians taking part. In London, the British Library hosted the Full English Discovery Day with family folk music and dance workshops, talks about the folk collections in their archives, and a range of performances from singing, dancing and instrumental community groups. Community arts organisation Blaze held a family event at Barnard Castle. Performances included the local youth longsword dance team and the youth folk ensemble Cream Teas. In the North East, Sage Gateshead organised the Full English Community Choir Day, with choirs performing new arrangements of songs from the digital archive.
The Full English has given my choirs an opportunity to perform in Hall 1 that they wouldn't have got before. There's a kind of sparkle around getting the chance to perform in that space.
And it's been really wonderful to hear how different people have taken songs and arranged them differently. So although they're all folk songs, they have a slightly different flavour to them. And it's been really lovely to hear everyone else's take on them.
There are extraordinary tunes that are ancient, beautiful and varied. But I think the other thing that's really important to people in community choirs is that folk songs, as they've always done, deal with all the great passions and experiences in life. Love, betrayal, death, work, all those things are in there.
The projects may have come to an end, but many of the resources generated by each project are now freely available for you to download and use. Just log on to the education pages at the English Folk Dance and Song Society website and explore the resource bank and beginner's guides. And don't forget, there are still thousands of songs, tunes, dances and more waiting in the Full English Digital Archive to be found and used in your own projects.